Guess someone else got here first.
Store.
Devours me.
orcs had a human commander. How very curious.
Who was that joker leading
and
those orcs?
disquieting.
Damn traitor.
Where are Bibius and Junius? They hear the fight.
Taken before his time. Far before his time. Hail, Source Hunter! Why, I don't think I could ask for a more welcome sight on these cursed beaches. The Legion welcomes you. Oh, I'm not so different from any other soldier you'll meet around these parts. We've all lost more comrades here in Sicil than most do in an entire military career. Bloody orcs are at it again. Beats me what on earth they want in Sicil. This is their second attack within as many weeks. And their second defeat. That rat-faced shaman of theirs even went to the trouble of launching a fireball at a ship in the harbor to the west of here. They may need help. I'd go myself, but we Legionnaires are under strict orders never to abandon our posts. Never know when another one of these little raiders might sidle up the beach. Beats me what traitorous madness came over that dog. A man among orcs. It'd be like one of your kind running with a sorcerer. Whatever the cur's incentive to raise swords alongside that murderous lot, let's all hope it was a private grudge. Can you imagine if we had to add a slew of wild-eyed, orc-loving bedlamites to our list of enemies in Sicil?
I've spotted something.
What's all this ruckus? Sounded worse than a dozen tomcats fighting over the world's last mackerel.
In the harbor! We need help! Fast!
but you're as so there we Sir, it's hard to Captain So there are. She seems still. Don't simply take my word for it, Hunter. It may be well worth a human, you say. Truly? But that would, and yet, I have heard rumors about a sect of sorts. A shadowy set of worshippers that associate even with orcs. Some say they're sorcerers. I don't quite know what to make of this news. But the undead. They've been clawing their way out of the ground for 2 years now. And for the Legion did a good job keeping them at bay. But I think it's fair to say that without someone is responsible for the outbreak. Necromancers are at work, but who are they and where do they hide? Alas, that searching for them is like searching for a single louse in a lion's mane. Unfortunately, that is out. We've cordoned off. There's nothing. Oh, but that's such to be out. But of course, I'm glad once you're there. And with
Sects, undead, orcs. Well, looks like we have our work cut out for us.
At least we won't be bored. How about we go see that Aureus chap Arthur mentioned?
We need more help or she's lost.
Come on, man! Put your back into it!
Are these the biggest buckets we've got?
We mustn't let the flames spread to the harbour! Come on, men! Put your backs in!
Oh, hail the rain spirit. That was a fine display of magicianship, it was. Or who knew what he was doing, bringing it. I thought the...
There's no escaping the spider's kiss.
Side seal, shivering timbers and sliving heels.
I said to him, myself, if I don't start earning an extra gold piece an hour, I'll walk out.
Good on you. Please, boss, and respect. So what they say.
Well, what is it, man?
I can't even smell the sea air.
Say, no one's around. You wouldn't raise a fuss if I, borrowed one of these fish, would you?
Borrow indeed. I'll sooner meet a cat wizard than see that merchant repaid.
Come now, I'll be good for it, I swear! I never would have dreamt of resorting to petty theft during better times, but what choice have I got now? If it's steal or starve, I'll choose. Oh, my story's tight. So what do you think?
That merchant has to eat too, you know. Leave the fish alone.
I'm sure this one little fish won't starve the merchant. He should take the fish.
That fish simply isn't ours to give. We can't offer it up as though we had the right to do so.
Whether fish or this man goes hungry, someone will suffer in this equation. We might as well help the man in the most dire need.
No better solution to the zombie problem than a set of silver arrows.
All right, we'll do it your way.
That's the spirit!
Sir, did you just steal that fish?
No, I paid for it. The merchant just left, but I paid.
You were a witness to this event now? Tell me what happened.
Get it while it's fresh.
This man is telling the truth. He paid for that fish fair and square.
Quite so. I saw...
I can't thank you enough for your, discretion. I'll be going.
Well, sorry to have bothered you then, sir.
Red and orange, yellow and green, the finest veggies Sisseal's ever seen.
Ah, gracious patron, I see your tarred eyes looking... Ah, gracious... Oh, no, noble friend. Your upper chakras are in desperate need of a good scrubbing. Fortunately for you, my home-brewed tinctures will do the job. Or if you're in the mood for something a bit more electrifying, one of my air scrolls might give your system just the shock it needs.
Let us see if you can choose the finest greens.
Potions to bemuscle you, scrolls to entussle you.
That's enough of that now.
I'm stuck fast. Fate is an ice-cold mistress.
This batch is only hours from the sea.
That doesn't belong to us, you know.
Yours for a scrap of gold each.
You're right, it doesn't. Sometimes I get a little...
Happens to the best.
Market, it seems.
Well, what sort of arrows do you want? Freezing? Silver? Poison? Get to the point. Get it while it's fresh. This batch is only hours from the sea.
Toe of snake, wing of worm, brew and spice and stir and churn.
Red and orange, yellow and green, the finest veggies Sisseal's ever seen.
Made a big cheese on your broth with a wheel of the good stuff.
Toe of snake, wing of worm, brew and spice and stir and churn. Potions to bemuscle you, scrolls to entussle you.
Get it while it's fresh. This batch
You there! A moment of your indulgence, if you please. You are the source hunter, are you not? The hero. The whole of Sightseal is abuzz. No, scratch that. It is so much more than a delight. It is an intervention of fate. Yes, that's it. Mendius, at your service. What is my profession? Well, I'll tell you what it used to be, and that is a man of medicine. But what does a man of medicine do but mend what has first been broken? I save lives, to be sure. Oh, it's not merely an opportunity. It is a once-in-a-lifetime chance to become better. To become the full extent of the promise that is locked in...
Becky, size seals ever seen.
Of course I do. How could someone in my profession not?
Quite right.
See here, you and I share the same passion. I never doubted it for a moment. The thrill of walking the unbeaten path, the rush of finding yourself in a goblin ambush, knowing you... too bad your line of work comes with such measly recompense. Am I right? The wage of a mere soldier. Now...
Riches do not interest me much, actually.
Really?
Well, don't quarrel about it on my account. Still, if a matter is divisive, it is divisive mainly because it is alluring. And even so, my friend, matters of a pecuniary nature aside, what is life without variety, without spice? To be a source hunter must get frightfully dreary sometimes. Am I right? All those orders. Investigate this, retrieve that.
Red and orange, yellow and green.
There's no shame in following directives if your masters are worthy of your trust.
You'll always stay me.
You disagree with one another. But that proves you are firm-willed. That you have the minds of independence, not dependence. Admit, life's too short to spend it doing someone else's bidding. Am I right? Of course I am. And that is exactly why I am here. Why fate has put me right by the door to the King Crab. So that I could meet you and tell you about the marvel that is... the Fabulous Five. How I enjoy simply saying the words that describe the most illustrious and celebrated adventurers' guild in Riverlon. Our mission, to better the world. You'd like nothing more than to enlist, wouldn't you? Of course you would. And you can. Of course, if you still have questions, I shall answer them to the best of my abilities. But if not, what a gem of a question. Straight as an arrow, sharp as a switchblade. Most. Now then, to join the Fabulous Five is to join a fellowship, to join a fraternity, a sorority, a community. The title of Knight is bestowed upon you the moment you sign our waiver, and so it all begins. I shall be the one to give you your first contracts. Of course, should you spread the word, should you propagate the gospel of the Fabulous Five, and by now the genial glow of the fellowship must have warmed your heart. It has, hasn't it? But did I say fellowship? I mean family. For like a family, we support one another, cheer one another, see, work hard, fulfill contracts, enlist new knights, and swiftly shall you rise through the ranks. You will better yourself. You will better Riverlon. You will make the stars shine all the brighter, and you'll get fabulously wealthy in the process. What's not to like? They call the undead a problem, my friend, but those who know the ways of the Fabulous Five see no problems. They see opportunities. An enterprising spirit can wrench riches... What? Now, of course, by now, work hard. Of course, of course, of course. All you need to do is sign this waiver.
Join a guild.
And me. May all the...
Marvelous. Magnificent. Oh, but what am I saying? Fabulous is the word. You may not realize it yet, but your fortunes, your very life is about to change for the better. So Oh, it's a pretty straightforward task, this one. Now, in this town dwells a wizard. Ahu is his name, and he's a frightful eccentric. Scientific type, you know the kind. Favors reason over faith and all that. Not Fabulous Five material, him. His experimental weapons may keep a couple of skeletons away from the city, but one of them was a big lumbering apparatus. A frightful automaton shaped like a giant made of steel. It was supposed to crush the undead by the dozen, but you can guess what happened. Did it become sentient? Was it cursed? Whatever the cause, the thing relieved itself of its pilot and headed north towards a network of caves. Now ask yourself, what if it comes back? It could smack. Luckily, there are those in this world who belong to the Fabulous Five. The braves who eat such monstrosities for breakfast. Go, my friend. Find this...
My, what a strong and handsome officer you are.
Lords above, grant me pay.
I am Esmeralda.
Like I told you, so what happened?
Well, what we're surrounded. They came at.
About her innocence.
We'll need to look for evidence.
Why is she keeping those on hand anyhow? Sentimental reasons? If only the popular girls from the Source Academy could see how edgy and dangerous you've become.
Treasure!
Recruits! That was sloppier than Sicilian stew. Again!
Come on now, I pulled her off you before she could do any damage.
Attention! Oh, beast!
Ah, come on with the dramatics. It's not as bad as all that.
The face furious. She bit me in the face.
Look on the bright side. Everyone knows the ugly soldiers are the most ferocious.
Ugly will be the least of it. The beast looks rabid.
In that case, you'll have the pleasure of putting her down yourself.
I wish for you to try it, screech woman.
What have we here, then? I'm Captain Orgods. Nevertheless, the scene of Esmeralda. What? If you must.
Source Hunter, welcome, welcome. But certainly, what would you like to know?
You don't think it's infected, do you?
Come on now, I pulled her off you before she could do any real damage.
Any real damage? Are you joking? I've been mauled. I'll be disfigured for life.
Come on with the dramatics. It's not as bad as all that.
Source Hunter. A sight for sore eyes, if ever there was one.
Everyone knows the ugly soldiers are the most ferocious.
Ugly will be the least of it. The beast looks rabid.
In that case, you'll have the pleasure of putting her down yourself.
Beast speaks. So you have to bring back the feral wall, have you? The cretin's question curved her lips and aimed to her aptitude.
Hey, pal, I think that was an insult.
Don't pay attention to the
I know you're... We've been conducting a...
Greetings, traveller. And may the Immaculate Conduit's myriad blessings comfort and cradle you. Tell me, have you yet heard the revelation? Go on the path to...
saffrons, I dare say.
Hearty welcome to the King Crab Inn, and a pleasure to have you. You look like you could use a round or three, so what'll it be? Have a seat and stay a while.
Whatever happened to that troop of eager imbeciles we sent?
Oh, my good man. Drinks, you please.
Please do be shouting for money.
You'll be concerned enough when you realize that reward money won't be lining your pockets.
Greetings, Source Hunter. Not exactly the...
Source was in... What happened? Is this a dream?
I don't think so.
Terrible!
Let's go.
Terrible! Terrible! Quit!
You know, I think that imp might be quite...
You saw? Terrifying, isn't it? The portal! It's the good... I'm active! You first. Yes! Just as I hoped! There she is! There it is! Come, come, don't delay!
And he's off.
It seems the imp has spotted exactly who and what he'd hoped to find here.
If any of us
Not but a moment ago, we were hunting Source in Rivellon, and now we're being told...
We can't deny our reaction to Starstone. There must be something to all of this.
No matter how...
Good to see you on the shelter plane. The Lady of Time, the Weaver.
How welcome in the I am quite but what it is. I reside in another realm. I think but sudden new through these. How might I serve our mission?
good day to you.
Source Hunters, I welcome you once again to the realm of Rivellon after your travels through the chasms of space. Nice to have found a shelter, wouldn't you agree? Where you can... I know the imp historian has told you about his agent on Rivellon, and I'll be it can that means the task you have been given remains crucial. Find the assassin that did... While you were being lectured, the advantage of being a cat, that's where I saw them in a cabinet. Don't we all long for a sanctuary? But perhaps I speak... Like any cat worth its salt, though, I deeply cherish us. Let me phrase it. I'll not pretend to if Zigzag's worries, I worry. I met him first, a long time ago. So I told him who I was, and in the end, he even shared his great sorrow. Before you go, here, take this teleporter pyramid. You'll need the other one, too, if you want to make use of its powers, but... Alas, I seem to have... Now that this matter has been settled, Hunters, I shall detain you no longer.
My gods! What is going on here? First I have to shoo away a creeping white tomcat, and now there's a perfect stranger in my bathroom. Get out, will you? Little mix-up indeed. Out now, if you please. This room is private.
Oh, what's that gleam?
Don't just stand there. Go! Away with you!
Well, hello there.
Bleeding wedge standing here without so much as a piglet in the pen.
Perhaps wrestling an earth elemental will inject some vim into your routine. Get it while it's fresh. Back, demon. Back or out. Well, what's this? Oh, Medora, you lummox. 1,000 pardons, comrade. So bear's edgier than a dodecahedron these days.
Surely you've met your match. I'll tell you.
It sure does me good to set eyes on another of our order. From Academy West, aren't you? Give Captain Mortruce my regards next time you see him. You wouldn't. I trained up in Academy North, after all. We don't cross paths with you Westies all that often. But Medora's the name. Retired. Or so the Order keeps trying to tell me, but never out of commission. My hand to your cause and my sword at your side. Heavens hornets! That's quite a story, comrade. And come to think of it, one could... See, I'm here on, well, let's call it a loan from a town to the north of here. Hunter's Edge. There's been an attack there, comrade. Orcs. Not your run-of-the-mill savages either, but ones who've taken dark magic to new heights.
In your pockets.
What they want in Hunter's Edge, I can't say. But it's my responsibility to send them packing. Preferably with their horns in their suitcases and a knee knot. I came south seeking the Legion's help, only to find it tied here in Sicil. They don't have a spare soldier to send northward, and even in my finest form, I can't clear the place of that many by the skin of my teeth, comrade. The savages were rounding up villagers when one of them activated a tripwire on our village wizard's property. Fortunately for me, that particular wizard has a penchant for things that go boom. I managed to wrench free of my captor's grip and flee toward the forest. He pursued me for miles, but I'd lost him before I made it into the Sicil hinterlands. Well, comrade, I hadn't thought of it till you tapped my shoulder just now. I need a contingent I can trust if I'm to take back the town. And the way I see it, I've been scouting Sicil for some time now, and I believe I've sussed out sufficient intel to help solve the murder of the Counselor. With our minds and swords in tandem, we'll make short work of the perpetrator.
Saffrons, I dare say.
More than I'd hoped, comrade. I don't know what in tarnation's gotten into the townsfolk here, but there's enough dark magic running roughshod to topple a small mountain. There's Mayor Cecil's doings for one, and the mysteries of our master Thaleron for another. And on top of it all, the feline menace is lurking at every hearth and shadow. Now don't get me wrong, I think the mayor's a decent sort, even if he can't hear farther than the tip. But from what I've heard whispered around the docks, the old guy's gotten himself mixed up in something not quite on this side of the law. I suspect an illegal source, artifact, or substance is at the root of it, but exactly what or who's given it to him, I can't say. And since I haven't technically been assigned to Sicil, I don't have the authority to interrogate him. Fella seems like a humble doctor, but I bet my sword he's dealing in something darker in splints and tonics. A loose-lipped fishmonger let slip that she'd seen our good doctor scale the city wall on 2 separate occasions, well past midnight each time. What business could he have among the... Hardly the habit of an innocent healer, I'd say.
They say he's privy to...
You mean you don't already know, comrade? Their kind can see in the dark. It ain't natural. Well, you know the old expression. 2's a tea party, 3's an invasion. I know this place like the back of my hand by now, and the orcs up north will be short work for a trained-up trio of sauce hunters.
A fantastic plan. With 3 source hunters working in tandem, we'll...
Another source hunt? That's the spirit. Listen closely now. Do you hear it? That's the sound of every orc and sorcerer in a 100-mile radius shaking in his weed boots.
Now, your head's grown more swollen than Saffron's, I dare say.
It's official. The Duke of Farrell is the worst poet in Rivellon.
In his defense, not much rhymes with murder.
Careful now.
I'm fading. Fast.
Здорово. Ну смотри, видишь, у меня жизнь не восстанавливается, когда я отравленный. Ну да, сейчас покажу там этот. Ну, способности посмотрел, таланты. Вон, зомби. Ну сейчас покажу, прочитаешь. Зато эта лечилка любая, которую используешь, она этот жизни тратит человек. Все равно одному как-то играть.
Whatever happened to that troop of eager imbeciles we
На работе? Ну, только до выходных. В выходные будем опять играть.
Control vibrations, I'm sure. Don't be seduced, comrades.
Tomatoes.
Ты видишь, вон сервером был, у него сохранения остались.
I smell the fierce stench of frightened source goblin.
Actually, I think that's only roast pig.
Блин, по предзаказу. Ну, я не знаю, я давно уже за ней смотрел. На компе еще хотел взять.
Thank Astarte, I've just the earth scroll to ground you.
Да ты перекинь, вот каждый вот подходишь, каждый с тобой хочет поговорить, каждый хочет этот. Вот ты замучаешься читать. Ну, я создал. 2 персонажа создаешь. А потом остальные появляются. Ну да, так сколько мы тупили и вообще. И то сейчас тоже как-то не очень персонажей создал, надо пересоздавать. Уже как-то более-менее сейчас понимаешь. Да, блин. Не очень, короче. Ну, там надо скиллы поменять, и там некоторые ненужные, короче. Вон я взял лечение, думал, лечить себя буду, а оказывается, я себя лечу и убиваю. Ух, лекаря. Ну, короче, блин. Так опять. Я там письмо какое-то получил. Ну, 1 минута, по-моему. Думаешь? Ну, не знаю, он мне не особо как-то 3-я часть там понравилась. Так, чисто поиграю.
Do feel free to... Oh, still not finished with that sorry man. Have you found any incriminating evidence against her? If so, let's have it. Like I said, the girl's known to be a flirt. But that sob of a feral doesn't have the mettle to commit murder. And as far as I'm concerned, neither has she.
I think that was an insult.
Don't pay attention to the beast, Various. You'll only encourage it.
Да, ну вчера нас вообще здорово выносили. Да, не только скелеты, все. Угу. Ну, до 3 ночи по моему времени. Да, там 5-й, что ли. Так уж много. Ничего не взломать, ничего не могу, что за херня. Угу. Не качал, не качал. Да нет, в принципе, вчера помогло. Мы вчера пришли в какую-то комнату непонятную. И там я с мышами поговорил, они говорят, там еще есть такая же комната, нужно поискать. И мы пошли с Серегой искать. Ну, говорю, как бы и так, нужная вещь. Да я, если буду жрать, я умираю. Я только от яда хилюсь. Да. Так проживу.
Assure me.
Caught unawares, oh catch me, for I might faint.
The hunter returns. I hope you are here to shop rather than sleuth.
Starstuck? Do you mean to imply he collected something dangerous?
Listen, if you're going to accuse me of something, you would better... Oh, don't put stock in the hastily scribbled words of a lovelorn fool. This letter, it was a show
Да
of
нет, да
passion.
нет, ты чем по сюжетке вообще не пошли.
Passion I did not echo in the least. The Duke, he's like a spoiled child. He's not a man. He's not like Septimus.
Все отрицают и письмо, блядь, что делать, хрен его знает. Понятия не имею. Наверное, что-то этот как-то. Вот сейчас посмотрю, у них там какие-то скиллы есть. Не знаю этого что-то. Я думаю, может какое-нибудь обаяние там еще что-то. Может этот как там дружелюбно к ним относится там. Это уже. Не знаю. Ну, что, у двоих лидерство?
You don't think it's infected, do you?
Come on now, I pulled her off you before she could do any real damage.
I hope your quest fares well, dear hunter.
Там вон, видишь, тоже с этими, когда разговариваешь, у них тоже венки какие-то висят.
Source hunter, welcome, welcome.
Ну, сейчас увидишь. На второй этаж он поднялся.
And what might those be? But certainly. What would you like to know? What a delight she is. The temperament of a type.
Oh, what now? Oh, still not finished with... Well, have you found any incriminating evidence against her? If so, let's have
Да,
it.
рейд прошли. Все. На этой неделе. Угу. Да не особо. Хотя не, шлем и скаутка, заебись того. Ну, только с этого с Орикса. Блин, что тут делать?
The cretin's question crossed her lips and ached an air of aptitude.
Hey, tell. I think that was an insult.
Don't pay attention to the beast, Furious. You'll only encourage it.
Угу.
You don't think it's infected, do you?
Come on now, I pulled her off you before she could do any real damage.
Any real damage? Are you joking? I've been mauled. I'll be disfigured for life.
Ah, come on with the dramatics. It's not as bad as all that.
The face, Furious! She bit me in the face!
Look on the bright side. Everyone knows the ugly soldiers are the most ferocious.
Ugly will be the least of it. The beast looks rabid.
In that case, you'll have the pleasure of putting her down yourself.
I wish for you to try it, screech woman. The beast speaks, so you have a room behind that feral wall, have you?
Warm as dragon's breath!
To leave the city is to venture into danger. Be careful, Source Hunter.
Ой, блядь. Даже нечем заморозить.
Grease grenade!
Блядь, что за хуйня тут произошла?
Everything we do seems to fortify you.
It's easier.
Have no fear.
Угу. Да, я тоже думал ничего.
That shove. Oh.
Не знаю, сейчас попробую. Сейчас сохранюсь.
Here lies Catherine. I know, I was great.
Думаю, что нет. Нифига себе. Сейчас пойду попробую.
Looks like that dog is awfully agitated.
Rest in peace, darling.
Perhaps he wants to tell us something.
So many dead civilians. It's an honor to visit the fallen.
Не знаю, что за стрелки. Собака сейчас точно сдохнет.
Quick-tempered and fleet-footed.
My life is and my way.
Ого. Нифига себе. Не чувствую, я не выиграю. Пиздец. Так 3 раза, главное, ударил. Капец, как они так делают?
Must focus.
Да.
You there, cut it out!
Да. Ты еще что, концовку не увидел? Побегать. Ну да, я смотрю магом. Да он посох вводить вообще офигенный.
Looks like that dog is awfully agitated.
Perhaps he wants to tell us something.
So many dead.
Peace be with you, traveller. May your lost loved ones rest in peace. I once lived a prosperous life with my husband and our happy little daughter, Loni. Loni never recovered from the loss. And when a group of mercenaries, predators, more aptly called, came to town dangling the opportunity to annihilate those undead, she was killed less than a week after she joined. Here she lies, and here I stand, mourning the death of my last job. Rest in peace, darling.
Look here. Even a sage and author as renowned as I is flattered when mortals dare among the dead to seek him out. Well, here I am, Nemeris the Wise. As if I need introduction. Nemeris the thinker, the theorist, the visionary. Come now. Oh, I've written so many celebrated treatises.
Да, я думаю, сейчас
But of
нападет.
course you have read and revered the philosophy of death. The diamond in the crown that is my literary legacy.
Ну, сейчас посмотрим.
There isn't a civilized soul alive that hasn't perused its profound pages, percolating with perspicacity. Alas, that so few show an understanding of my words, so few show the expected intellectual growth when I put them to the test. You can, and indeed you must. But alas, I was not buried with a printed version of that blueprint of genius that is my inimitably esteemed essay. Never fear, though, for each and every library in Revellon boasts a copy, the gilded cherry on their paper pie.
Интересно, что за книжка? Сейчас попробую откопать, может призрак поможет. Ну да, нормально жахает. Угу, я говорю, вообще жахает. Так. Думаю, сейчас убью. Нифига, убил.
May the seven keep you.
Нифига Скарлетт там жахает, вообще. Угу.
As good as a new pin.
Rest in peace, darling.
Ничего поделаешь.
What trickery is this? That's not Jake.
It's a
В
rotting
могиле
sheep's
откопал.
corpse. It seems someone snatched Jake's body.
Rest in peace, darling.
Да, кого убили, ну.
Rest in peace, darling.
О, сейчас знаю, куда идти надо. Где Серега воевал там. В этот. Где трупы там держит, блядь, как он там, в морг. Нету там ничего, не было.
May the seven keep you.
Sweet relief.
May the seven keep you.
А, стрелочки наверх, это уровни, наверное. Это причем, что я имел в виду?
So, what's the bad news? More orcs rampaging through the docks? Or have those infernal statues sent another soul flying to his death? This here is my family business. Yes, there's been a Roberts escorting stiffs into the next life since the foundation of Seal itself. They don't write epics about morticians, but I'm proud of my work. Sad story, that. Though if I'm speaking plainly, the sentimental aspect of it all doesn't make much of an impression on an undertaker. Especially not these days, with so many I just concern myself with giving the remains a respectable exit from life. We set him to rest in the northern graveyard. Perhaps he can finally get a little peace. A sheep? That's a whole heap of nonsense. Don't bother me with such wild tales. think you're doing? So, what's the bad news? This here's my family's sad story. I just a sheep? I suppose you're right. At least if I tell you myself, you'll hear the proper account of things. I buried that blasted sheep, but I swear on my lucky left foot I had nothing to do with that body disappearing. 1 minute it was on my slab, you see. I left the room for just a moment to answer the bell in the front parlour, and when I returned, the body was simply gone. In its place was a sack containing more gold coins than I could even count. The message was clear. Silence is golden. My business has been declining right alongside the rest of our blighted city. And that sack of gold was worth more than I made during one of the good years. I needed cash, and someone needed my silence. I knew I had to bury something or risk being found out. So that night, I stole into the market and made off with Bertia's fattest sheep. It was a bloody waste to stick so much fine meat into the ground to rot, but it had to be done. The next day, the pallbearers retrieved Jake's coffin, sealed to hide the body's terrible wounds, none the wiser that within the casket lay nothing more venerable than a slaughtered beast. Now, you can imagine I've spent more than my share of restless nights wondering who could have wanted that cadaver and for what purpose. I'm not an inch closer to imagining the why, but I've got a few inklings as to the who. Near as I can reckon, there are only 4 people who could have been involved. Mayor Cecil, Captain Aureus, Theleron's apprentice Evelyn, and as... Plenty of us shopkeepers entrust the mayor with the spare keys to our businesses, you know. And he's the only person in town with a second copy of the key to the mortuary. He could have used it to sidle in without a peep, if he were so inclined. Aureus himself paid me a visit the night the body was delivered. Came rapping at my door in the frosty morning before the sun had even started peeping, and told me to tell him, and only him, if I noticed anything strange or suspicious about the remains.
Да, хотел заскринить, блин, а нажал на кнопку, меня выкинуло.
Can't see why he'd bothered to go through all that trouble, unless he knew something the rest of us don't. I know it sounds strange suspecting the doctor's apprentice of something so ghoulish as this, but there's few in this city could manage to transport a corpse without raising eyebrows. It was she who delivered Jake's body from the inn to the mortuary, and there was something about her that night. Some kind of excitement. Seemed she could barely contain her thoughts, that there was something thrilling about to happen. I can't quite settle it in my mind how a young medical professional would have such a strange reaction to an occasion such as that. And this may or may not have anything to do with the whole rigmarole, but her master, Dr. Theleron, bought an old shack of mine, one overtaken by undead, for an exorbitant price considering what he was getting. I never did figure what he wanted it for, but he sure seemed eager. I never saw a widow less distraught at the death of her husband, and I've seen hundreds pass through my parlour. It was she who rang my bell just before the body was snatched, lured me outside claiming she needed air, before discussing the funeral arrangements. Some accomplice could have sneaked in and grabbed the remains while I was comforting the oh-so-overcome Esmeralda. That gold's the only good thing to come out of this blasted affair, and I certainly plan on making some use of it. You know, I reckon Bertia really didn't get a fair shake in all this, did she? Here, take the money and give it to her.
И тогда шел еще тогда Серега, играли там, разговаривал с бабой, она говорила то, что овцу типа украли. Вот эта овца оказывается. Нифига себе, блин, тут какая история интересная. Только начало игры. Потом это в лечебнице, когда там же были, помнишь, мы там я подходил, разговаривал с этой, с докторшей, ученицей этого лекаря. И она там какой-то камень воспользовалась и нас переносила там туда, помнишь, звездные небеса. Вот этим камнем, наверное, который она взяла, наверное. Интересно. А я вон сейчас с этой бабой одной.
Could have had a new lamb by now if that Bruce had taken to a woolly lass.
Как бы отдал, я выбрал.
Right, proper, we're fine again. If you've got a favourite sheep, best to fry her up now before she gets thieved in the night like me dear plump Ogget, the finest in me herd.
Ну вот этот же рассказал то, что она труп перевозила и была такая счастливая, то что, блин, как будто что-то сейчас произойдет. И когда она камень этот юзает, ну, использует в этом, в больнице, чтобы вылечить там какого-то раненого, она говорит, ой, что это происходит, это что-то не то там.
Now that the herd's gone, old Bertie's just recently sold most of the tender loves to a trader heading north. Plenty of business that way. Oh, Ogget, you're rotten to the bone. Oh, me poor, sweet, plump girl. You've been wasted entirely. All that roast, all the mutton, not even the sausage grinder we'll want her now. Give her here, will you? Me little mouldering darling. That louse. Did he even bother grilling a single luscious chop? I bet he wasted every last morsel. Captain Aureus will have a thing or two to say about this.
on that vile Gratill?
Soothing a corpse's troubled mind. Can't have gotten far.
So, excuse me? This is a private sick room. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm an apprentice of the healing arts. I've been racking my brain trying to decide on the best method to settle this grave situation. But what would you like to know? One of the brave few willing to traverse the trade routes plagued by the undead. A young man, but excellent in matters of business. Thankfully for him, quite the venerable staple of Seal, Stephen, and recently blessed with his third grandchild. He was leading a crew of builders when a stray beam struck him in the temple. Nearly everyone in Seal is familiar with grinning Stephen, and as you can imagine, he's quite dear to his family. You are? Oh, I thank you a million times for your help. Who have...
Boris's life has just begun. We can't cut it short now. He should receive the stone.
Yes. Boris it is? Yes. I'll deliver the stone.
No. I know it's
No, this is highly abnormal. What is this? Lightning!
I don't know what I did to deserve this, but I'm beyond grateful.
That tone, soothing a corpse's
Короче, пошел я попозже. Не зайду, сколько там времени уже, надо пойти похавать.